I'll just be waiting for people to come on. I have a few things that I want to talk about. Please, if you could just confirm that the sound is fine. Hi, Arno. Please just confirm that the sound is fine. Okay, we very quickly have over 100 people, so I can start talking to you. Brian, Arno, Sean. Sounds good. Okay. So I've just put out a thumbnail schedule for tonight at 7 o'clock. I'll be having a live interview with Reino de Beer, the president of the Liberty Fighters Network, that'll be giving an update on the Friday's court case, the judgment. And then, of course, it's very important for everyone to know that President Cyril Ramaphosa will be addressing us this week, addressing the nation. And he made this known during a dinner at a fundraiser where he told the people that he hasn't spoken to us in a while and he believes it's time to speak to us. And for him to let the nation know how he feels about the state of the pandemic at this stage and how people are behaving themselves, etc. We have over 200 people. Wow, I didn't expect that at this time of the day. Thank you all for coming on. I'll be doing more live streams in future so that you can ask me questions. I don't want this to be very long. There's lots of work that I still need to do today. But President Cyril Ramaphosa has made known that he will be addressing the nation this week. Now, I don't believe he's going to be announcing any lockdowns or anything like that. He will be telling South Africa how we should behave according to him and according to the regulations. In other words, he's going to tell us how he wants to control the population of South Africa. This is basically what is going to come out of that address. And we will see at the time who's actually written it. And I will give you feedback, obviously, on that address afterwards. I will make my notes and give you the feedback. Those have done really well in the past. And I really look forward to giving that to you. There's many things doing the rounds at the moment with regards to what is going to happen to the country in future. Now, it's like a whole bunch of people have crystal balls in their hands and they know exactly what's going to happen. And the easiest thing to do is to make a little message on WhatsApp and to let it go everywhere without substantiating anything. And this causes havoc. You know, people are running to the liquor shops again. They're running to buy stocks of cigarettes. And you are in your full right to do that. But I would have rather stocked up on water, drinking water, and or food, because this is something that we should always have available. And as I've told people before, I believe you should have at least minimum 3 months food and water supply available for any eventuality. Wow, I can't believe we almost have 300 people on this stream at this time of day on a Monday. That's wonderful. So Cyril Ramaphosa, I'm going to be ripping him to shreds as I usually do. He is not a leader. He doesn't behave like a president at this stage. He doesn't give leadership because he gets instructions from other people. You know, if he actually showed that he was leading anything, the fact that he says at a charity dinner that, yeah, it's about time that I station again, instead of leading from the front, shows you that he's just an installed puppet and that we don't really have a president leading our country. I don't think he's ever had the ability to do that. He became rich off of Anglo-American shares that he was given by the Oppenheimers. And if you watch my video on Cyril Ramaphosa, that's now surpassed 51,000 views. It's really amazing. Then you will see what his life is all about. And there's obviously a lot that's not in there, but I put the basic details for you to know who is running our country in that video. We have over 300 people watching now. Why? That is incredible. Rama is a clone. Well, all I can tell you is that Cyril Ramaphosa hasn't got your best interest at heart. He is basically playing to his puppet masters. But there's one thing I want to tell you about the circumstances in the country right now. Next year, we have local government elections. And because we have local government elections next year, the ruling party, the African National Congress, they have councillors on the ground, and they have a lot of councillors countrywide. And without these councillors, they don't really have control of the branches of the ruling party. So if they go and declare a further lockdown now and lock us down to level 3 or level 5, it's political suicide. Because what's going to happen to these councillors is the fact that the electorate will punish them at the polls, and other maybe more extreme movements might actually come to the fore and get favor with the people. So Sir Ramaphosa will be thinking about this. There will be a lot of political pressure on him at this time, a lot of political pressure because of the local government elections. Remember, the parliament is not very closely connected with the people on the ground, but the local councils are. Whether they're doing a good job or not is irrelevant. But they are the people connected at grassroots in the branches. So Cyril can't just ignore all the ANC councillors, the tens of thousands of ANC councillors around the country that sit in councils that are earning fat salaries. They want to continue their lives. And if the government comes now with another heavy lockdown, it's not only going to kill the economy completely, secondly, it's going to make those councillors look really bad unless they can convince the majority of people that what they are doing is right. And currently, as we can see, nightclubs are carrying on till past 12 at night. People don't really care about all the regulations that are in place, social distancing, wearing of masks. Some of you might have seen the video of Becky Cele actually going into a club here in Gauteng, where the club was packed with more than the limit of people. There was none of the regulations that they were asking for were being adhered to. And the club decided to carry on with business, and it's their right to absolutely do that. So the police came in, separated the women and men, and I don't know what happened after that. So it's going to be interesting to see what will happen to a venue like that in this instance. I can't believe we almost have 400 viewers now. So the fact that President Cyril Ramaphosa is going to speak to the nation, and I believe Leanne Manas, who spoke to him personally, didn't get the feel that he wants to impose anything on us. I think it's going to be like a daddy spanking his kids or warning them before spanking. So this is literally population control. This is going to be Cyril speaking for his bosses, trying to put the fear into us, because you see the death numbers that they expected didn't happen. And besides that, we know that most of these death certificates were faked. In other words, they couldn't prove that any of these people actually died from COVID-19. So what I would like Cyril Ramaphosa to do is this. One, prove to us that you know what this virus is, how the test is done, how they define that it's COVID-19, and explain that to the nation. This is what I challenge you to do, President Cyril Ramaphosa. Educate yourself and then speak to the nation as a president, and then try and lead us if it's at all possible for your brain to conceive what I'm saying. So if you cannot do this, then you should step down as president of South Africa. But I don't know who will take your place, so it really doesn't matter at this stage. We need a completely new governance system. Wow, we have over 400 people watching. This is incredible. We need an entirely new governance system to get rid of these people that don't belong in government. They really don't belong there. And as you come to the future meetings, and we'll be doing many meetings on top of each other now, it's going to be rapid fire in the next 2 weeks. We're going to be seeing many places before we return to Cape Town. We'll be in Cape Town on the 18th of November, and then we'll come out again to the Garden Route and various other places. And it's going to be interesting to see how many meetings we can fit in this time. But Cyril Ramaphosa, I believe, is building up in the media that his puppet masters control, to fear us into complying. I actually saw someone that I know from the entertainment industry that doesn't believe in this whole COVID pandemic say that please, at events, adhere to the regulations so we can at least make money. So here you have someone that doesn't believe in the pandemic, asking people to abide by the regulations just so that he can generate income. This is a situation that many people are in right now. They are standing to lose millions of rands of equipment and businesses and staff. And Cyril Ramaphosa has not helped these people. The entertainment industry, the airlines industry, the hospitality industry, the filming industry. Many of these industries have had absolutely no reprieve. And Cyril Ramaphosa is now going to come and speak to the nation and berate us. And it'll be interesting to see what angle he takes. Is it the World Health Organization angle? Is it the ruling party angle? What angle is it? Is it the South African bosses angle? And we will only know once that speech is made. I will announce to you when that happens. But remember, tonight we're almost at 500 people. My word. Tonight at 7 o'clock, I will be speaking with Reino de Beer, the president of the Liberty Fighters Network. Please tune in at 7 o'clock to actually see what is happening with regards to the judgment on Friday. He will explain everything and what will happen from now on. So that'll be very important for you to listen to. I really want you to watch the interview at 7 o'clock tonight. And I want you to listen out for specifically when Cyril Ramaphosa addresses the nation and my take on what he says. But I can tell you now, there's going to be a lot of berating. He's going to use all the other politicians to cover himself, to put out the heavy words. You know, the MEC in KwaZulu-Natal has come out, the Premier has come out and said that further lockdowns can happen. He even made a statement to say that the next virus and outbreak will be much worse and more people will die. How can he make a statement like that? Where does that statement come from? We have over 500 people now. That's unbelievable. So how can a premier make a statement and say that the next virus will be much worse, or the next wave of the virus will be much worse and kill a lot more people than this time around? He sounds like Bill Gates. So where does this script come from? And it's interesting that Cyril Ramaphosa has chosen someone else to make that statement, not himself. And many other people in the media, in the mainstream media that is run by Naspers or the government themselves, saying to the people of South Africa that we can go to a next hard lockdown, that there's a next wave of the virus coming, and some of them clarifying now that it might be a newer virus, it might be a more dangerous virus, and it's going to kill more people. Interesting, people, when you see things like this, you need to ask questions. You need to ask yourself, where do these statements come from? When he makes a statement like that, he's slipping up. He's not supposed to be that direct. No one can predict what the next virus is going to do, what the second wave is going to do. They cannot predict themselves that it's going to be more deadly, spread fast, to be more vicious, unless someone has told them this, and they are busy with that script. So just think about that. We have 540 people now. This is absolutely incredible. So I just wanted to tell you that. So 7 o'clock tonight with Reino de Beer from Liberty Fighters Network, and very important, Cyril Ramaphosa, that says it's high time he speaks to the nation, which I find very, very interesting, from some charity event where they had the most ridiculous levels of security to make sure that Cyril Ramaphosa does not contract the virus or the disease. But I challenge him again. Tell the country how you have verified that the SARS-CoV-2 virus, that it exists. And besides that, and I'm not saying that it doesn't, I'm saying you should tell the nation, because you've never done that. And the next thing that you need to do is tell us what COVID-19 is, because you cannot test for COVID-19. The people must stop lying in the media. No one can test for COVID-19. Then explain to the public how the test works, or get one of your experts to do that so that they can be tasked and people can take them to task, because this is what Reino de Beer will do in court, is challenge how you are extending this state of disaster continuously, how this is happening, because it's not Lamini Zuma that's behind it, it's you. And I know this for a fact. Well, we almost have 600 people online now. Well, the test, someone says, why not able to test? The test doesn't test for the SARS-CoV-2 virus. It's not possible for the test to do that. And this is a scientific truth. All we can do is we can test for the coronavirus. We cannot test for this specific novel coronavirus. So when you do a test, you can only say that someone has a coronavirus. This is all we can do at this stage. And then you cannot test for the disease. A disease develops because of the effects of a virus, any virus, like Ebola. Ebola is a large virus, so it's easier to see. We can actually see what it does under an electron microscope. But a large virus like Ebola, I mean, if people told you Ebola was around, you wouldn't have to lock them down. They will lock themselves in. The problem with what has happened now is that Cyril has come out and said that this is happening. XYZ is happening. He's given no evidence for it, and he's expected people to just be locked down. Not the Minister of Health, not the Minister of Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma. No one has given the public any evidence to relay their fears. They have expected the public to just believe mainstream media. And mainstream media has made such a hash. Wow, we've got a record, over 600 people viewing now. Has made a hash of actually telling people the truth, because they've lied one lie after the other. And most of the mainstream media sites have been the greatest liars and the greatest fearmongers. So when I put out a video where I have proof that a death certificate says natural causes, but the medical certificate says COVID-19 related, and the doctor blatantly lied, there's a problem with the death numbers. And at the moment, just remember that the COVID-19 pandemic cannot be seen in terms of a deathly pandemic, because we know that the way that the death numbers are registered is fraud. Because in South Africa and Britain and many other countries, the entire Commonwealth, how do they register death? Anyone that tested positive, according to them, for the SARS-CoV-2 virus, even although the test can only test for the coronavirus, and dies, will be listed as a COVID-19 death. No autopsy was performed. There was no verification that the person actually died from COVID-19, because scientists are still trying to establish what it means to have COVID-19. And this is normal. With any new disease, you need to find out exactly what it does over time, who it affects, etc. So, Canadian MPs has talked about the COVID camps for those that don't accept the vaccine. Well, many of the things that we hear, okay, are not substantiated. There's so many documents doing the rounds. There's so many rumors flying around, and this is not helping my cause. I like to stick to facts. I like to use government's own facts against them. It's safe because the information comes from them, and I just use it against them. So no one can say that I'm spreading fake news, and it helps to keep my videos online. And you don't have to go and come up with some fake anything to absolutely rip the government to shreds with how they've destroyed our lives. Has the government got the right to protect your life, or should they ensure that there's an environment where you can protect your life and live a free life? What they've done now is they've told you, no, you may not work, no, you may not earn a living, and you must just end up dying. This is literally what they're saying. So people in the filming industry, for instance, that haven't been able to film at all, they have to come up with another way of generating income, or people actually physically have to help them. Family and friends have to help them. So one thing the COVID-19 pandemic that the government has declared has done is shown people that sometimes you have to come up with something new. You have to live a different life, and this is what I'm telling people to do. If you watch my last live stream, I actually came up with many things that people should be doing in their lives. And if you come to the meetings, we'll get a lot more specific. And I really want to thank the people that have watched that video. It's almost got 8,000 views. I'm very surprised. Like I said, this live streaming is very new to me at this stage, but people seem to be enjoying a live stream better. Now, I would like to answer some questions, so I want to have a look quickly, and I'm not going to spend more than another 10 minutes, which will take us to half an hour to answer some questions. Well, Adam, how are you doing, man? Lockdown prediction. People predicting a lockdown for November and December, like I said earlier, that would absolutely be suicide for the ruling party. For them to lock people down over that period politically is political suicide. So I don't think that they will do that, eh? Hi, Irina. What can the average man in the street do? I feel helpless, hopeless, and powerless against this all. Kay, just understand that every person in the street, the first thing you need to do is look after yourself first. After you've looked after yourself through making yourself as independent of government and large corporations as you can, then you can start helping your family, and then you can start helping your community. So the first thing you need to do is have at least 3 months water and food storage. So food storage is important. That includes food and water for 3 months at least. And you should always have this. This is not for any specific date or anything like that. So start with that and then come back to me after that. Once you've got that, you are more powerful than the richest person with no food in his house. Personally, I do not think they care about next elections. There probably will not be one. Willem, under our constitution, there's only certain things that can be done. Many people have said there's going to be martial law. Martial law does not exist in South Africa. There's no such thing as martial law here. We have a state of emergency under our constitution and a state of disaster. So I would like you to go to Lauren Evanthia. Go to Lauren Evanthia, my wife's YouTube channel, and then go and look at the pieces that she's done, the videos she's done on the constitution. And she does cover that state of emergency there as described in the Bill of Rights. In other words, you still have certain rights even under a state of emergency. But the worst that we have is a state of emergency. So that is the worst we have. We don't have martial law. But under state of emergency, the military can be deployed. The military was deployed currently under a state of disaster. So just remember one thing. Our constitution is what you need to look at. Now, I'm not saying it's a good constitution. I'm saying that is what we have to work with, and we have to get to know it and know our rights according to the constitution the way it is right now. So, firstly, there is no such thing as an American system in South Africa. We have a South African system that comes from Britain, and that system gives us a state of disaster, not martial law. So martial law exists in America, and we can't have martial law here. So that doesn't exist. The elections next year must happen. The elections cannot be stopped. It's not a function of government to decide whether elections happen or not. It's a function only of the constitution. So the elections have to happen. Government does not have a choice in that. Let me make that clear. No one can stop the elections next year, not under our constitution. So our government would have to turn into something else that they cannot do. And if they decide not to have the elections for whatever reason, then the Chief Justice comes into play. And you need to go and look at the rights of the Chief Justice. Okay? Because if we have, that would be an internal coup in our government, not a coup on the government, an internal coup. In other words, government, the entire government, going against the constitution, which I suppose you can reason in many instances they've already done. But that would mean that they would decide there's no more elections, and they would literally not start or announce an election date. Now, if a president doesn't do that, the Chief Justice has many powers, and that is when he comes into play. But remember, the Chief Justice, his term will come to an end at the end of next year, and it's interesting how all of this might be lining up at this stage. Well, we only 100 people watching. Yes, direct elections is definitely the way, but remember, there's 3 things that need to happen before we have direct elections. We need to change the electoral system, we need to change the governance system, and the constitution. All 3 of those things need to happen before we can have proper direct elections where we elect our president, premiers, and mayors. So Cyril Ramaphosa will be speaking to us this week. I hope it's sooner rather than later. There's a lot of people fearing right now. I know of people that are stocking up on all their addictions at this stage. And, it's your right to do that. I'm not going to tell people to do that. But if you have things that's important to you, we live in uncertain times. And this is why I tell people, what do you need the most to survive? Water and food. Store at least 3 months water and food. This should be a norm in anyone that I deal with. The moment you have 3 months water and food stored and you can look after yourself, then you become a citizen that can be used in many different ways. If you don't have that, you become a liability under difficult circumstances. And that's as far as I'm willing to go at this stage. So it's very important that you store food and water for 3 months at least. And I will do videos in future if you want, where I can give you very specifics on what to store and how you can do that. We've gone over 700 people. So that's a new record, people. Thank you very much. How do we normal citizens say no to government and have now results? Well, Jacques, you're not going to get the results instantly with regards to government. That's not possible. We need to change the government. So how do we change that? If it's either through war or you do it, which is not an option in my books at all, because people don't know what war is, or you do it through the current system, through the electoral system. And the only way we can do that fast is for people as soon as possible to become as independent of government and large corporations. I can't reiterate this enough. If you're not independent of government and large corporations, they control your life, and you are allowing them to control your life. We need the majority to stand up. We don't stick together. Well, Sonia, what we need to do is for all people to first understand the problem. The biggest problem in South Africa right now is the fact that people don't know that the government is not our enemy, that the government is just there controlled by people overseas, that the United Kingdom via the Rothschild family still run this country, that it hasn't changed since the British settlers arrived here in 1820. Nothing has changed. In fact, it's the same people using us on the hamster wheel. We're doing all the dirty work for them. It's as simple as that. So, yes, please hit the like button. I'm not good at advertising the channel or what I'm doing, but please share this video. I really want the people to know that Sir Ramaphosa will be speaking to us this week. I believe that it's going to be a daddy-child session. It's like a teenager being hauled onto a bed and then told, listen, yeah, if you don't behave, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z to you. This is basically what will happen, which will include more curfew, more all of these things that you normally do with teenagers. And, you know, for a president to do that to a nation, they will be punished for that. I can't see how they're going to survive anything like that, especially at the polls. Because remember, when voting happens in local government elections and in national elections, that's the only time under this current so-called constitution, because we actually don't have a constitution, where we will get the right to vote. It cannot be stopped at all. It cannot be stopped unless the government coups the country internally, literally. Okay. Wow, 700 people again. The economy. Okay, the first thing I want to say about the economy, and we only have just over a minute left now. With regards to the economy, just understand one thing. Money will be collapsed. So money will not exist in the future the way we see it now. So this money we're working for just reflects our labor. There is nothing to back it. Not gold, not silver, nothing. So we are literally working for nothing. You're getting something for the work that you're doing so that you can exchange that labor to buy bling blings or anything nice that you want. And this is how we've been kept going in the slave system for so long. But I don't want to get into a lot of detail with regards to that. You can come to one of my meetings. And to come to the meetings, please go and watch the Question Everything series on this channel. Go to the playlist, go to the Question Everything series, and then go to the Moments in Time series and watch the first 4 videos. That's the videos on the New World Order and the 3 videos on the Rothschilds. And then you'll be up to speed to actually attend one of my meetings. And I'm not going to allow anyone in my meetings in future if they have not watched those videos. That's a requirement. Hi, Eleanor, you just got here. Well, this video will be here for you to watch. This is the largest audience I've had during a live stream. Absolutely incredible. Paul Beekers, we're becoming a nanny state. We already are a nanny state, but luckily, I tell the people that we're 80% there to this New World Order system. The rest of the world's 95% there. So because we're always agter die klip behind everyone, it's a blessing in disguise. And because the people in South Africa are so obtuse, haragat, don't want to stand together, there's actually an advantage in that. Because the fact that people are so divided makes them not stand together and accept this global nonsense. So it's actually served our purpose, but now we do need to get rid of this government, and for that we have to stand together under certain values and principles and goals. And I believe that there are ways and means of doing that. We have a very good plan to achieve this. The plan is workable, it's doable, and hopefully many people are becoming a part of that, and I hope more people will do so in future. Any last questions? We've gone over 30 minutes now. Well, food is, it could be meat. The only thing, Willem, is a fridge. I would prefer that people stock up on dry food, but now we're going into the details. So anything that doesn't need a refrigerator or electricity. And what you should do is actually get yourself these large containers, square containers that are see-through. You can put the food inside there. You'll still be able to see it. And then put the water in these 20-liter water bottles. Put them under a bed or somewhere where it's dark. And the water will last for a very long period of time. You can also buy yourself these survival straws that you can drink the water through, so you don't have to replace it every couple of months. I mean, I've stored water for a couple of years and the water was still perfectly fine afterwards. So if you know what you're doing, you could actually do quite a good job of that. And to get 3 months food storage, if you buy pastas and rice and things like that, it's actually quite amazing how cheap it can be. It can be really cheap. So I will do very specific videos on food storage still in future. I believe my wife, Lauren Evanthia, please go to her channel and go and subscribe to Lauren Evanthia and go and watch the videos on the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and all the other videos that she's put out there. She's come up with a plan for this country, an incredible plan, a workable plan, and many people are joining up with regards to that plan. And it's wonderful to see every day how that is happening right now. Well, we have over 750 people. Jean, yes, if it's just, biltong lasts long as well, if that tickles your fancy. There's many things that a person can actually put in like tins of tuna. You can actually have quite a nice meal with your pasta or rice or whatever. The main thing is for you to survive, and water is the most important thing that you need. If you don't have water, you will not survive. Okay? Tin beans, tin food, anything that actually will last a period of time that you can keep. And I recommend you recycle that food. In other words, you actually eat from it and then keep on topping up. So this is what I recommend you do. You actually should eat your food storage continuously. That'll be the last tip I give before we actually close down. You can look forward to the live stream this evening at 7 o'clock. Remember, 7 o'clock with Reiner de Beer on the Friday Judgment. Thank you very much for everyone. There's over 750 people watching now. That's absolutely incredible. And then we can talk. I will do specific shows on food storage. Water storage alone is a live stream video that we can do on water storage and many other things. And my wife and I, we are food storage experts. We've done many presentations on it in the past, and it's not that difficult. It also doesn't have to be that expensive. So I really want to thank you for joining this live stream. We could keep going forever, but I have lots of admin work to do still, people to contact with regards to the tour now. And I really want to thank you all for joining in this live stream. Remember, 7 o'clock tonight. And for those of you that want to join in the future meetings, I'll put my number in here again, 067-607-6428. WhatsApp that number. Just send a WhatsApp to that number and tell me where you're at and how you will like to get involved, and we'll be in contact with you. So I really want to thank all of you for your messages. We have over 400 messages to get through. It's a lot. It's going to take time. The response has been incredible. So thank you very much. And there is no second lockdown. We are still in lockdown, people. This is the last thing I want to say. We are still in lockdown. Lockdown level 1. We have curfews. Okay, from 12 till 4. We're still treated like children. So please don't make as if everything is hunky-dory. It's not. Okay. So thank you very much. you must please look forward to the live stream this evening. It's going to be an important live stream. And then you can look forward to Cyril Ramaphosa speaking to us this week. I'll give you my breakdown on that. And in all evidence that we have right now, he will not be announcing a further lockdown. He'll be warning people. Like I said, it'll be like chastising his kids. Well, I'm not his flippant child, and he has no right to speak to me unless he comes with evidence. I want to see his evidence, and then he can address me on what I should do and how I must decide to take my own civil liberties away, because he cannot take my civil liberties away, because the Constitution at this stage still protects many of those. Thank you very much. Till we do the live stream tonight, there might be some videos in between that I might do, but I'll definitely be with you again 7 o'clock tonight for the live stream. Yes, it'll be on this channel, of course. The live stream will be on this channel. I've already uploaded the icon, so you can go and share that. 7 o'clock tonight, the icon is there. If you go onto the channel, you'll see it there. Till tonight.